Russell Kane on Absolute Radio.
Hey, this is Russell Kane, this is Absolute Radio. I'm so excited to be in the driving seat for one morning only. I'm joined by Emily, as always.
Hello,
Emily,
Russell.
how
Welcome
are you feeling?
to our home.
Are you feeling, because you're looking, the lockets are lined up, and
Yeah.
or any other over-the-counter prescription medication you might want to...
Some non-over-the-counter, but that's another story. I'm feeling a little bit throaty, but it's good. I think it's quite sexy. What do you think?
Yeah,
Yes.
apart from the mucus you sprayed me.
Sorry about
I
that.
always get on the Barocca if I'm feeling like the night before, but the first time I took it, there was no warning on it about how yellow your wee wee goes, and it absolutely terrified me. Thought I developed a superpower. How are you this morning, Gareth?
I'm very good, yes. Not
Look
bad
at that.
at
I
all.
can just imagine you never get a cold and you just look at infections and go, don't bother, I won't be interesting in them. Well, we've got lots going on this morning, lots of things to talk about, lots of lovely music, but I thought we'd kick off by the... Well, first of all, I was just about to go on air for the first time at Absolute, and what was my final message before we went on? Good luck, Russ, have a great show, it's great to have you as part of the team. It was Daisy, who's here helping get the show together, said, it's like being at a swingers party and a stranger's turned up. What a lovely way to welcome them. Like I've walked in naked going, who wants it? And everyone going, not us. And, so, on that note, because that's about as much masculinity as I can carry off, people often mistake me for being a bit more feminine than I am.
Yeah.
And I sometimes play.
You're what I like to call metrosexual, Russell.
Right, some people don't know whether I'm gay or straight, and I like to keep that air of mystery
Yeah.
going, right till I get behind a skip. And so I thought, how masculine and how feminine are you? How masculine and feminine do you like your partners? You might be in a heterosexual relationship. If you're a girl, how girly do you like your men? A lot of these younger girls like a feminised male. Some of them find that vulnerability in a man sexual. I can't put a shelf up. Come over to mine. You can borrow my GHD ceramics.
I don't like that, Russell.
I can tell Emily she likes a man's man.
Oh, I do. I like... Well, Henry VIII is my ideal man, which gives you a little ballpark there, something to go on. So I like, for example, a man's got to order a pint. Don't like him messing about with vodka tonics. That's a hairdresser's drink. Don't like man who doesn't like sport. Got to like sport.
See, this is the complete opposite. I'm now, I'm now safe. I can disable my sex attack alarm. I'm fine.
I won't pounce on you, you're safe.
That's quite weird to like Henry VIII, isn't it? To want to be dominated and then beheaded. I mean, I like fetishes, but that's a bit over the top.
No, it's a problem. My therapist and I work on it weekly.
Yeah.
But
Is he dressed as a Tudor? Is he counsel? Lay down on the couch, Emily. Oh, my neck's so vulnerable. Gareth, do you like? I mean, I not in a way, in a kinky way, but I like a woman to be a bit dominant these days. I do like a, Sadie often insists. There, I've given away my heterosexuality.
that's your other half, isn't it?
Yeah, Sadie will often insist on carrying all of the shopping bags while I mince in front on my iPhone, and I like that as a man, to be pampered. You, Gareth?
I'm quite well, I think, because we're all a mixture of masculine and feminine traits.
But what are the ratios?
The particular feminine thing that I do is that I have to talk about an argument. If there's a tension or if there's been cross words, I have to deal with it before I can move on.
Yes.
Where Laura
Completely.
can just carry on and find them. No, I need to talk about this.
Yeah. Sadie's exactly the same. Let's just leave it. It'll go away. When you said in the second minute of the argument that my hair was Lego shaped. What did you mean by that?
You two are going to have to man up. It's ridiculous. You are quite... But Gareth, I've noticed Laura does wear the trousers. I don't know Sadie, but I'm guessing she might wear the trousers as well.
But this skirt really suits me, though.
Yeah. You look
It
lovely.
does look good.
But it tends to be a more, how can I put that, a more, a woman of distinction who prefers a man's man. It tends to be sometimes a more mature woman saying, "Oh, sorry, I still like a man to be a man."
How very dare you.
I meant emotionally mature.
Oh, I like that now. That's good, Russell.
And
Well saved.
Someone like my mum would,
Like Calamity James.
someone like my mum would say, "I like a man to be protective. I do like a man who can put a shelf up. I know it's old-fashioned. In a fight, I want to be protected."
That's what you want. I want the head of Bernard Manning on the body of Bernard Manning.
There we are.
Essentially what I want.
Well, if that's you, why don't you text in to 81215, because Emily could be yours if you're willing to behead her. You can also get us on the email. Head to the website, go to absoluteradio.co.uk/Frank Skinner. How masculine do you like your women? And how feminine do you like your men? Gareth, have you got any anecdotes of your woman manning up to protect you? I've been protected. I've actually been protected by Sadie. Will go,
really?
Leave Prince alone.
That was a good segue into one of your anecdotes, Russell.
Yeah.
I think one thing is because I'm not into sport, but
Yeah, me neither.
I think if you're a man, then if you're not, because I'm not into sport, really, when I think about it, is because I realised I wasn't any good at sport.
Oh,
so I thought,
okay.
well, I'm not even going to try if I can't win. I'm not, so you sort of become competitive in other ways.
Yeah.
The stand-up's quite competitive.
Emotionally
isn't it?
competitive. I'm more upset than you.
Absolute Radio. This is Absolute Radio, and it's the station. All aboard for the next train.
That was The Police, Spirits in the Material World, or as I call it, Getting Drunk at the Carpet Centre.
Very good.
Hey,
You're
I can do one
fire
line. This one I'm on
morning.
radio because I'm not fear of the audience going, rubbish, get off. This is Russell Kane changing genres like nobody's business here on Absolute Radio, joined by a sedate Emily. The gods have sent her a cold so that I can be protected. And a razor-sharp wit lest it cut me. And Gareth as well.
Hello.
You just said in Gareth as well.
And Gareth as well.
You need to
I
big
don't
him
like
up a
the
bit
tone
more.
of that.
I don't need to big Gareth up. It's like
completely
it's like
safe.
saying Prince. See, I keep getting Prince in there because we're eventually going to talk about
We're
Prince
quite
later.
obsessed by him, aren't we?
But I think we
We're
should also...
trailing Prince. That's very professional. Later we'll be talking about Prince. Moving on.
So, I think we should all send our congratulations out to Danny Minogue,
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
who's given birth. And as we know, when a celebrity gives birth, it is empirically more meaningful than when a normal has a child.
Yeah.
So
It
well
is
done
good news.
to
It
Danny.
means more. Yeah, but you know something
So,
bad's
young man.
happened, Russell.
What
What?
is it?
Well, I don't know if it's bad, but she has called her kid Ethan, which is the same name
What?
as Gareth's little boy.
Now, first of all, before we even go into the debate of naming a baby, we've had a quite distinct Ethan there, whereas I
Yeah.
would say Ethan.
It's a problem. It's an ongoing issue because I say
Yeah, Emily says Ethan, but she's called her baby Ethan. I thought there was like a code of conduct in the celebrity world.
Yeah.
Where, you know, if a big gun like me has already used that name, it just makes her look cheap and like she can't
How do
know
you feel that she's
originality.
copied your baby's
She
name?
has.
How dare she? I mean, you know, the nerve of the woman. The nerve.
But the good,
Everyone's going to think you've copied her now as well.
Oh, no.
the good,
Sorry, but it's true.
the good thing about the name Ethan is quite hard to abbreviate. You can go for an Eth, but that's just being
Eth.
petulant.
We call
Or
her
E.
sometimes.
E.
That's an
E?
unfortunate nickname.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what my niece calls me.
E.
Yeah. There you go.
Really? If I just reduce you to a
Let's
letter,
leave
it's
that.
like you almost don't exist,
Yeah,
aren't you?
exactly.
Goodbye. E.
I like shortening names though, Russell. Like you're Ruh.
Ruh.
You'll always be Ruh to me.
There's a thin line between abbreviation and impediment. And but there is this you hear a lot of my friends are starting to pop sprogs and stuff, those with the emotional maturity to do so. And there's the hunt for the name that cannot be abbreviated. Some people are really
Yeah.
paranoid about it. It's really hard to think of a name that can't be abbreviated. My other half, Sadie, she hates her name being abbreviated to Side. There's something so
Oh,
Essexy
yeah,
about it. Side. You can still get about 4 syllables. Side into it if you really go for it.
Sad.
But you would think you can't abbreviate Gareth's name, but I've managed to.
Yeah, but Gareth, you were saying you get called Gary sometimes.
Gary is not appropriate.
Oh, that's not
Couldn't
good.
look less like a Gary.
No, Gary's not.
Gary!
Where's my Stella Artois and my undercar lighting?
I call him. I've got a good nickname for Gareth. I call him Lady Gaga. He seems to quite like it.
That is an elongation, isn't it?
That's the Aussie mode, isn't
That's
it?
a
to make-
title.
Yeah.
That's the thing you can't get away from in Australia. They'll make names longer. Gareth Boy Gario. Whatever your name is.
But Russell, if you had kids, have you got any names?
Sorry, I'm just scratching my eczema rash, which has come up. It's developing into psoriasis, don't say it again.
What would you call them?
Well, I've got this thing, it's quite snobby,
Yeah.
where I wouldn't want the name to be in the top 100 at
I
least.
understand.
I can't bear that thing when, you know, when
I
one of the
understand snobby.
when the mum walks into the nursery and goes, Olivia, and all the tiny heads
Yeah.
turn round.
Yeah. You don't want to get trampled in the rush.
So-
Jack and Ruby, forget it.
Sadie loves the name Reuben, and we often name our hypothetical child Reuben. Now, every few months, we have
Reuben's
a
good.
hypothetical child.
What you mustn't do is what lots of people, 30-somethings, I'm not casting aspersions on age, but 30-somethings do, is they get a dog and then they call it Lola, or the name they were going to call a kid, and I don't like that.
We've already got. I think a
Oh,
lot of
no.
people. No, dog's not called Lola. We've
Oh,
got.
no.
I think a lot of people.
What was your
this
dog
is,
called?
This is something we can move on to talk about in the next section. When is a good time to breed, specifically for men? There's not many people talk about that. And when you get that phase where you're having pets, but you're slightly in denial and treating it like a baby, going, we don't need children. I'm just enjoying my single life, and then you're lactating in the toilet, going, I love my dog like a baby. Or fine, I never want to have kids. I just need my money in my flat.
What is your dog called, Russell?
Cooper.
Cooper.
I was never going to call my child Cooper.
Russell Kane on Absolute Radio.
So it was all going lovely in the studio, and we were just to tackle
Yeah.
the tender age of when men should breed. When Gareth drank an Orangina and his personality completely changed.
He's gone all mental. He's like,
mean?
he's It's gone weird.
Second those bubbles hit the bloodstream.
You're all criticising me. That's the problem
He's having
with
a
it.
Gina rage.
No, but firstly, Russell, can I point out, he did say you've got to shake it to wake the drink. And
I asked if it had been shaken. You have to shake it to wake it. It says on the can, shake it to wake it.
Listeners, can you hear the difference in his voice? He's a man at breaking point.
And then I poured it, and
also
Emily
can-
was like, look how he's poured it. Why has he poured it so high? And by the way, when you have a latte,
so
you don't
high.
need to swizzle it round. I can drink things however I want.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we won't laugh at you.
That is true.
And also, FYI, don't say
does that
to
mean?
lovely Emily, who works on the show, have you shaken this drink like Mariah Carey? Jesus, sorry,
You
Russell.
have to shake it to wake it. Also works with people.
Depends what sort of evening you've had, I suppose. Sometimes the shaking's not enough. And so we all love orange, we
you've
all love
made that
bubbles,
very
but a lesson there in what can happen if you mix them too, daringly. It's quite an ironic drink to have as well, the orange gin. You can have a game of Guess Who and Kaplunk going, maybe some chinos.
He's in Sicily with his parents, age 9. That's the last time I had orange
It's on holiday.
Got to shake it to wake it, Dad. Gareth, be reasonable.
I want an orangina before I go swimming.
Well, proof there that you can have a talking point out of whatever's just arrived in front of you. No, but we were talking about Danny Minogue's had her baby. How old's Danny Minogue? 36, 37?
No. Oh, that's kind.
Really?
No, I really like Danny, actually.
Still spiteful looking, living
No,
face.
well, exactly. Welcome to our world, girls. I think she's about 38.
Okay, so these days, a perfectly acceptable
Yeah.
age for a woman to have a first child. A few eyebrows sometimes go up if it passes the magic 35. But what
Yeah.
is the correct age for men to breathe? There's all this patriarchal, if I may use that term at this time in the morning, focus on when a woman should use her body to bear a child. When's the optimal age for a man? Because we don't have the rules of biology dictating, we sometimes think, any age is okay, but is it? We don't really want to be having a toddler running around when I'm 80.
I don't want one running around unless I've got staff, but that's another story.
Yeah.
What about...
Emily has children, her nanny is going to be exhausted.
Well, exactly. So, Gareth, what do you think, Gareth? Because Gareth's got a kid.
I
and
was 29.
That seems like a good
That's
age.
all right.
I mean,
a little bit,
in my-
young.
maybe
bit
you
young.
should email in with their
changed a lot,
suggestions,
hasn't it?
and we can get a mean average. That's absoluteradio.co.uk/Frank,
that-
and you'll get there via the website or Twitter. Indeed.
Is the text working yet? Because the text wasn't
I don't
working.
think the tip, but maybe
No,
they could hit
can't
us on
text.
Twitter instead. That's
If you-
Twitter.
If you just shout.
Yeah, shout loudly if you're in the area.
36! 36!
What do you think, Russell?
I think the Twitter address is @FrankOnAbsolute. Got it in.
Oh. Because I think you should be
he's
about...
thinking all the right things.
I think 36, 37's good for a guy. Because
It's 40 too late for a man.
No.
You've got so you're 45. You've got a 15-year-old son
Yeah.
or daughter. Is that cool?
That's
Can you
fine.
still hang out?
You don't want to be like Des O'Connor when you have a hernia when you bend down to pick them up. That's not good. But I think
You actually get more injured during the birth than the woman. Push! Oh, God, that's gone again.
This is Absolute Radio. That's right, just put it up there.
Absolute Radio.
People just tuning in. Gareth has drunk some Orangina earlier and making my first show, Russell Kane's, very risky. There's an air of violence, and there as the bubbles leap from it into Gareth's crazed mind.
We've had an email, Russell.
But the thing is, the sentence doesn't just mean we've had an email, it means we've had an email.
Yeah, we've had a single
Due to
email.
technological problems with the text, which I was so excited about hearing you guys in text, you have to go to the website and go to absoluteradio.co.uk/Frank Skinner, which means we've only had one email, and it's from the furthest possible country on the globe. It's from New Zealand. Please share.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, has it disappeared?
No, I think actually it's an email for someone else.
That's nice. So not only was it from New Zealand to start with, but now it's for someone else.
I think it's actually for Absolute Classic Rock. But I'll read it out anyway. We need to take what we can
No,
get.
don't patronise me, Gareth. I can take loads of this.
It's
We
from
could
Roxy.
play-
It's quite like there's no reference to us at all.
Yep.
So it says it's from Roxy and it says, "Hi there, I'm in
Yeah,
New
but we
Zealand
could
listening
take
to your
that.
station." That could be us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be us.
Cool accent you got there.
That could
definitely-
be it. That could be any of us.
It's definitely not you, Emily.
Oh.
Here's my
you.
accent like totes cool.
You leave Emily alone. Sorry, it's the Orangina.
The Orangina.
Sorry.
You see, Gareth.
What's wrong with a bit of privilege? Anyway, carry on.
Cool accent you got there. Can you play some Pink Floyd, please? No, we can't. We've decided what we're going to play
It's good
now.
to know we've
It's on there.
connected with one mistaken email from New Zealand.
She says it's 7:30 Saturday night here, and the All Blacks are about to play some rugby and kick some
How
South
long is
African
this
out.
email that's
I
not
can't
for
say that.
us?
I don't get out the house much. Help me. Well, there we go. Maybe people have got busy breeding because I've asked them to think about
There
breeding
you
age.
go. So you didn't tell us what age you thought was the best age, Russell, to have kids, or have?
Well,
have you
I kind of like the idea that when they're teenagers, you're still, your youth is in the distant past, but you can still see it. It's there.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the tunnel. So I would like to pop out my first ones by 35, 36, you would have thought. I wouldn't
sounds
literally
good.
pop them out. I'm not like Predator with a boy womb or something. But you know what I mean. Have someone
Yes,
pop it
I
out
do,
for me.
Yes. Why not?
Well, that's my age. So text them in and we'll divide them by the number of emails, not text, because we can't get it to work, can we?
We've had our first text. It says Jamie Test. Oh,
No, that
that's
was
just
one
a
of the
test.
IT people testing.
So
it.
my
does that
total
mean it's working?
The total communication I've
Maybe
generated
not.
is Jamie Test and is this classic rock from New Zealand. Marketing Kryptonite, Russell Kane here on Absolute Radio. Well, talking of technological failure, how about this link? Prince has declared the web is dead.
Yeah, he's declared war on the web.
Let me give you the exact quote. I'll do my. The internet is completely over. I don't see why I should give my new music to iTunes or anyone else. They won't pay me in advance. He added.
he wants money up front.
He added. This is the best bit. All these computers and digital gadgets are no good. They just fill your head with numbers, and that can't be good for you. Well, let's unplug your guitar and see what you've got. Cream, chicka-ticka-ting-ting, chicka-ting, cream.
I like that he's
that's
crossed they
weird.
won't pay him in advance. He wants his money in a little brown envelope at the end of the week, like his wage packet. That's what he wants.
Can you pay cash?
He doesn't have a credit card or anything. It's from the 70s.
brilliant. I think Prince's problem is that he, in the olden days, he wanted to party like it was in 1999. That was the
Yeah.
future,
Yeah.
and now that's like 10 years
If
ago.
he'd rewrite the lyrics to 97 before the birth of the internet.
Yeah.
Like it's 97, so we can still send each other letters, but it's the future. Are there any other technologies then, do you think, that might be, that we're using now, that we go, oh, how could it be dead? We use it every day, that we'll laugh at in 10 years' time and go, oh gosh, I can't believe we thought that was so... DVDs, you can already see DVDs
Yeah.
waning.
Oh,
can't you?
DVDs. Well, that's the thing. But it's that weird thing. Do you remember? I was going to say, do you remember Blu-ray? That's how in the future I am. Do you remember those things, laser discs? Oh, I thought
They
they
were
were
huge.
great. Yeah, I adopted
They were
those.
like posh frisbees. That's probably what you thought it was, Emily.
Yeah.
Mama, these fly fantastically.
I'm always an early adopter, Russell.
Well, I might well end up adopting if I don't get breeding soon.
Russell Kane on Absolute Radio.
It's Russell Kane on Absolute, filling in for Frank Skinner, and that was The Farm with All Together Now, which I learnt in German to annoy my German teacher, and it went alle zusammen jetzt. In Nichtmann Spiel, alle zusammen.
Oh, very
Gareth
good.
and Emily here, as
I like
always.
that. Sounded like some Eurovision
I'm a
entry.
mere stranger as a swingers party, close quote. Let's recap what we've been talking about, because I have excellent news. Bad news for Prince, who denies technology, but excellent news for us. The text is up and running.
Hooray!
So why don't you text us on 8 12 15 about any of the things we've been talking about. We've been talking the male-female debate. How feminine do you like your men these days? How masculine do you like your women? We talked about babies' names. Danny, Minogues, Ethan.
Yeah.
What's a good name that cannot
Ethan.
be abbreviated? Not Ethan. And when should men breed? Everyone goes on about Danny's age. What about men? When is it responsible for men to breed?
Whenever I like them to.
Right, exactly. Now, Quentin. Now, put the pheasant down and go for it.
Oh, I haven't had a Quentin. Anyway.
But of course, we're talking about technology, and that very moment, text has come up, and also Gareth has had some interesting emails proving that people are hearing us all over the UK. Where's the first one from?
Don't worry, guys, Israel.
Oh,
Don't worry, guys, I'm listening in the south of Israel. Play whatever music you like, all sounding good. That's from Leon Sholton.
Oh, thanks, Leon
And
Shelton.
I hope you
Richard
like the farm.
Connormaker, I think that's how you say it, said, I'm not quite as far away as New Zealand, but I'm listening from Los Angeles.
do you see the reach of Russell Kane's fan base?
Yeah, you're all over the shop.
You're rocking out the Eskimos this morning here in Nunavut.
Love your show, and your station is one of my favourites in the world. Isn't internet radio great?
Well, we think so, but Prince might not
That's
agree with
rich.
us. Isn't
No,
that right,
rich.
Russell?
Prince is definitely not listening to us on the internet, because according to Prince, as we've been saying, the internet is dead, the web is dead.
Yeah, but I don't think he's got a computer. He's got an Amstrad word processor. That's what he does all his composing on. I reckon.
Amstrad, that was
Yeah.
something that at the time thought this
Yeah,
is the
that was really
future.
good.
Someone's got an
Yeah.
Amstrad. Whatever happened to Amstrad? Do you remember there was another one that was fruit? There was an apricot. There was
what was
apricot
that?
at the same time as apple. That was like, oh, it works for apple. Let's name ourselves after a
I
fruit.
don't remember that. I don't think we had that in London. I don't remember that.
Information was brought to me on a tray. Oh, apparently the capital of Liechtenstein is Vaduz. Thank you, dismissed.
Miss Emily, we have some computers here for you to approve.
Apricot.
That's
never-
what Steve Jobs said to me, and I told him, yeah, go ahead with it. It's fine. It's all worked out well for all of us.
So, my dad was still. My dad had the 8-track thing wired up to his car battery in the Transit.
Love
But
that.
the 8-track's such a weird concept. You have to listen to whichever track is currently on loop. And there's 4 possible choices, and there's 4 songs playing at the same time.
Usually Supertramp in our car.
There were so many ABBA 8-tracks.
Yeah. Loved 8-track.
Sounds the best. This is
Absolute Radio.
This next song is dedicated to all of you men called Ken.
Russell Kane sitting in Frank Skinner's chair for the morning. I can't believe it. Absolute Radio. Emily and
feeling
Gareth
it
are
very
helping me out there,
nicely.
so I feel very safe. And it's brilliant, because although Prince has declared the internet is dead, we've been having your texts have been flooding in during Crossfire. Not that you weren't engaging, Brandon Flowers.
Yeah, it's working now.
So, Gareth,
it's
what's
still
going
working.
down
Well,
in
we've had-
Tech Town? You liking that, Prince?
We've had a text saying, my name is Quentin, what are you doing later?
Oh!
I think that is for Emily.
The terrible thing was, on reflection, was that Emily said, I've never had a Quentin. So there's this matrix of to-dos. I'm Quentin.
Yeah, we need to see a birth certificate, Quentin, before we can go
Yeah.
any further. Quentin's a good name that
I
can't
want
really be
proof.
abbreviated.
Yeah, Quentin.
I think
Actually, it's a good
I think
one.
Quentin might be nice for me. Anyway, we'll
You
talk
never really
later.
hear a Quent, do you?
No.
Quenty.
Q. I'd call him,
Maybe that's what James
Q.
Bond was all about.
Yeah.
His name was Quentin. It's so uncool. Just call me Q. Seriously.
And M was Malcolm. Yeah. Quentin and Malcolm.
Malcolm Morris. Yeah, go on.
I'm 35 and my partner's is a text. I'm 35 and my partner's 41.
Gareth, one of Gareth's personalities have just taken over. The Orangina has transformed him.
That'd be really rubbish multiple person. I'm 35 and I live in Cambridge.
It's slightly different to who I am and a bit older.
I'm 35 and my partner's 41. We're having our first child too old?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
What, so she's 35 and he's 41?
No, everyone has
Yeah.
them when they're 15, like you, Kerry Katona. Sorry, Gareth,
Yeah, exactly.
please.
But some
All benefits
I
cheap
think the
age.
good thing is, you have to imagine yourself with a 16-year-old kid. What would it feel like? So if you're going to be 50...
Don't think about what a 16-year-old kid feels like.
Gareth, I'll tell you, Orangina, also sexually warping what was formerly a brilliant young man. No, but I mean, I could see some 55, 56-year-olds are dead cool, and a 16-year-old, you could interact. So maybe, I reckon, we're looking like 40 could be the boundary for 40,
Yeah, I
41.
think you're right, Russell.
That text was from Claire on the M11. I forgot to say that.
Hey,
Claire, I
Russell,
hope
you
pulled
know,
over to declare your
we were
birthing age.
talking about sort of metrosexuality and whether you were a female, acting male, etc.
Go for it.
We've had a text in saying my daughter, who is now 16, was wrongly recorded as being a boy when she was first born.
Ooh.
Don't worry, it's not going in a horrible direction.
It's got a comedy ending, hasn't it, Emily? Speed up.
This was due to the position of the cord.
Oh, no.
So she went from being James to Verity after about half an hour. Needless to say, her brother does mention this occasionally, from Russ and Hazelmere.
Now, not only is that a touching and lovely story, but it is rather worrying that a doctor could be so inept. They went, actually, that's the umbilical cord.
What's that, Roy?
Her liver's hanging out. It's a leg.
You see,
Quite
as,
fundamental things to muddle up, aren't they?
as parents, I think it would have been nice to never mention that again.
Yeah. Let
Yeah.
alone to
Told
text
that
international
story.
radio and have
Yeah.
it broadcast. Ooh, umbilical between your legs. How does it feel? How does it feel to have an umbilical swinging there when you're a girl, boy, girl, boy, boy, girl? Right, any others?
They're my kind of parents. I like the sound of them. Life is cruel. You've got to learn that early on.
Hi, I'm
Quentin.
Hi, I'm planning to have a baby with my girlfriend who is 22 and I'm 46.
Oh, dear.
14 years.
Oh,
I
sorry.
already have an 11-year-old.
Oh, God.
So they already have an 11-year-old, or he has from a previous...
He has an 11-year-old.
got all sorts
already.
going on.
You got this. Didn't you get another message
Oh, yeah,
about?
no, he
because
had-
men do seem to get in this second breeding phase. Some men,
Yeah,
don't they?
I-
As the electric guitars come out of the garage.
Yeah, I had a tweet
Oh, yeah.
saying men seem to like two sets of families, one before and one after the midlife crisis. That's from Dobby29. That
But-
is true.
Are you going to have another one then, Gareth, with
Yeah.
Laura?
I think I'll have another one later with Laura, another
Yeah.
family.
But the good thing
Once
about
Ethan's
the
Just
good thing
change
about starting young, you
characters.
could have two phases, couldn't you? You could have two now, get them to 10, 11 to school, and then you could breed again when you're in You're
New
is that
wave.
too- is
Well,
that
that's
too
like
much of an
Michael
age difference?
Douglas. He does that. He does it every sort of 15 years or so, doesn't he?
Oh, I never forget the shot of his buttocks as he walked away in one of the movie when he'd passed his prime.
Oh.
Do you know, they just went...
Oh,
Why
I
did you ask for
hated
that close-up?
the cashmere V-neck jumper with the slight chicken giblet neck. Oh.
See, I like that.
Russell Kane on Absolute Radio.
This is Russell Kane. I'm stealing Frank Skinner's throne for the day. A puppet leader, seizing control with the aid of my dukes and duchess, Emily
I like
and
being a
Gareth. I actually
duchess.
pluralised you there,
Dukes,
Gareth,
brilliant.
after you had so many bubbles from Origina. That was, for those of you who didn't know it, shame on you, but it was The Cure, Friday, I'm in Love. We've been getting some more response on the text, 8, 12, 15. What's happening with all the provocative topics we've been throwing out there?
We had the text from Quentin saying his birth certificate's in the post. See you soon.
Oh,
For
very
Emily, so-
70s way of
is-
getting the information
For
to
those
me.
of you who have just woken up, this is in response to Emily declaring, I've never had a Quentin. I won't tell you how we got there. We didn't. She just came out and said it in the middle of a topic. Do you know what? I've never had a Quentin.
Well,
And we
it's
had
true, not
fi-
even Tarantino.
We had 15
That's true.
listeners.
That's quite a cool use of the name
Yeah.
Quentin. I forgot about that.
Exactly.
I had my daughter. This is a text again. I had
Male-
my
male
daughter at
breeding age.
I had my daughter at 44. She is now 9, and I am now loving it. Andy. Now loving it sounds like he hasn't enjoyed the first
I've
half.
made a massive mistake. You're 8. I hate you. Hang on a second. It's all right now.
That
I've
implies
emotionally warped to
8
my
years
loathing
of
her.
hurt. Also, we were talking about metrosexual men, and Kelly from Godalming has said, I love men like Noel Fielding, Russell Brand, and Brian Molko from Placebo.
Cool
The
dudes.
problem is, unless you... That's a bit like you, Russell, though. You've got
Yeah.
something of that going on.
Got
I'd
one more
put you
for
in
the
that...
list.
In the Venn diagram, I'd put you in that little circle.
I'll be in the slightly pink
Yes,
section to the
I
left.
would put you in that. The problem is, unless you live in London, which I don't, you don't see those guys. I'm in the UK, though. What would you say to that?
Well, I mean, Gareth, you'll agree with me. We gig all over from
Yes.
blinking Inverness all the way down to Plymouth. I think once
When
you get
you're
into the
in
town
Godalming.
centre, there's lots of GHD straight. And I mean, all the way on the motorways these days, it's quite a common sight to see a guy with a bit of silver foil round him, rocking back and forth, and only a flat tyre to fix. Going, I can't fix it. Sometimes even a dominant female, sometimes on the phone, going, stay dry, Prince. I'll call the RAC.
Well, let's see if there's a metrosexual man from Godalming who can get in touch.
My name's
I'll
Barry.
sort
I
you
love
out.
skinnies. I live in Godalming near the post office.
Excuse me, guys. It's Godalming.
Sorry, Godalming.
Godalming.
Oh, God.
Godalming.
Do you think, I sometimes think
G'day,
they
mate.
make posh places hard to pronounce to keep people like me out.
Yes, that's exactly what
It's
we
like
do.
in Yorkshire.
We do it.
In Yorkshire, where no one says their H's, the poshest town is called Harrogate. Just to get, I think you'll find it's Harrogate, and if you can't say the H, please leave immediately.
Harrogate.
Oh, exciting stuff. I believe Holly Walsh is in the building, and she's coming up next. She's going to come in and talk
We
to us
like
about all
her.
her exciting upcoming projects. Latitude. She's working on a pilot. She's also taking a really exciting, different type of show to Edinburgh, which I think you guys are absolutely going to love.
Oh.
Have you ever worked on a pilot, Emma?
Gareth! I have, actually, but that's another story.
Was his name clearly wasn't Quentin.
We've got
Any other messages? What's
Email
going on?
saying, now I'm worried. This is from Leon Sholton from Israel. I grew up listening to 8-track, top of the pops mixes, not even the original artists.
Oh, yeah, I know
But
those.
really, so what is it, like songs by the different people to what it
Yeah,
was?
and they had dancers on top of the pops called Legs & Co. And then you could get albums, and they had, like,
They
Legs &
weren't
Co.
just legs, though.
No.
Legs and Co.
It was like ladies, like sort of 70s ladies.
Is it just legs and Seb Co?
Yeah. Oh,
Just he was jogging.
The camera, it's so sexist, the camera didn't even show their torsos. Just focusing on the legs, that's all it is anyway. 70s are so messed up. Can I just take objection to the word mixes on an 8-track, but you can't even choose which single song you want to play,
Well, that's
let alone
true.
mix them in. Clunk.
Andy says his first computer was an Amstrad. What does all this mean?
He had so much. I bet he had a bronze Manta Opal car as well. I like the sound of him.
Oh, yeah.
What's that mean?
Yeah, the Amstrad, I really did. The futuristic. I had a Spectrum. Did anyone have a rubber
Oh,
keyed Spectrum?
ZX Spectrum.
I was so destructive, I couldn't help picking the space bar off.
Oh, I love
So all my
that.
words were joined together from an early age, so I speak so quickly now.
Absolute Radio. This is Absolute Radio, and it's a station. All aboard for the next train.
This is Russell Kane filling in for Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. That was the Kooks being utterly naive. How in touch with his feelings, Emily and Gareth. It's the Kooks, dude. Please don't let me down. I'm naive, baby. Please, I'm crying.
I think he's putting that on just to pull.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he's pretending.
Then he puts
I've
his
got
Tudor. He
feelings.
puts his Tudor
Getting
outfit
it.
on as soon as that bedroom door's closed.
Oh,
Put your
no.
Amberlin mask on.
That's got me going.
I wore a Tudor outfit for 7 years.
And there...
Oh, Holly, you're making me get all sappy.
We are. I should just explain. Chipping in on our Kinky Tudor roleplay chat was Holly Walsh, ladies and gentlemen, in the studio. How about that? How you doing?
That was a half-hearted clap.
Not for
I'll
me.
take it. I'll take
Mine
it.
was full.
We didn't join in, but only because we don't.
You've got rules.
clap.
Don't really do that.
Yeah.
It's not in Gareth's. I'm surprised Gareth didn't clap. He's had Orangina and been acting up ever since.
What?
If he clapped, he'd probably break his wrist.
Oh God.
Holly, what have you been up to? I'm hearing lots of.
I don't know, but you name-checked Godalming earlier, and I went to school there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a nice
Didn't you
girl,
go to
Holly. I
a,
like you.
a boarding school?
Yeah, this
or
is the Tudor uniform. I went to a school where everyone wore Tudor uniform.
I know that
way.
school. I'm obsessed by
Yeah,
it.
that's where I went.
It's
it
not
like?
Christ Hospital, is it?
Yeah, Christ Hospital.
Oh my God, I love that school.
Christ
Yeah.
Hospital.
Yes, they wear the best uniforms ever.
Please
they're
don't tell me
Tudor.
there's a school called Christ's
Yes.
Hospital.
Yes,
Holly
I went
went
there.
I seem to have got this injury in my side. Is there anything to do with it? Or name this school after you.
Holly, tell me about the school.
It was amazing. I had a great time.
So
I
what
found
age
out that
did you go?
Tayo Cruz went there, I think.
Oh.
Wow.
So we have pretty impressive R&B credentials.
What age did you go? 11?
I was 11 and I got sent
Were you
there.
sad going away from home?
Well, yeah, I was at boarding school, but it was 40 minutes drive away.
I thought you were
from
going
my
to say
parents'
40 grand a
house.
year.
40 grand a year.
Don't be silly.
It
It
was
doesn't come
40
that cheap.
minutes.
Wisen up, Emily. Right, you dropping a clanger like that. This is Christ School we're talking about. They
Christ
brought the Messiah
Hospital.
back to health.
Christ Hospital,
Sorry.
duh.
What did I say?
Christ School.
Oh yeah, sorry, Christ Hospital. I did do a medical joke at the end, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
So, because a lot of my aunties go, I would never send a kid to boarding school. It's cruel. The kid should be with you, within reach of Asda at all times. So, do you think it's?
Well, I mean, honestly though, it was within driving distance of my parents' house, so you can't but take it offensively that they couldn't even bother to do the school run. That's how much they wanted to get rid of us. But I loved it after the first year. It was great. So I think send all your children away.
It
Who
certainly will
needs parental
Yeah,
upbringing?
you went to a great uni. You've had a great career, and you're seeing you crop up on lots of different programmes at the moment. You're developing a pilot, is that right? How exciting is that?
I wrote a pilot with my friend Sharon Organ.
Is it all hush hush?
No, well, we're right in the middle of it now.
You're still at brainstorm. There's just a blank A3 sheet in the
This
next
is
room.
what going to be a Christ Hospital musical.
Will it be? What will it be? A musical, sitcom, panel show?
It's a
sketch show?
sitcom about a women's prison.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
So we're
So
right
like Prisoner
in the,
Cell Block H with irony type thing.
basically, that is exactly it.
The tune, can anyone remember?
Oh, I love that song.
And now, you're taking a show up to Edinburgh. Now, normally,
Yep.
at stand-ups, we sort of write an hour and egotistically ejaculate it into a microphone for an hour, but you're doing something completely and utterly different. Popcorn comedy.
Yeah.
Pitch that to us.
We are taking up, basically, there's so many people who make funny stuff who don't want to be stand-ups. Or are stand-ups but want to do other stuff.
Yep.
And so we're trying to do this show where we're taking the best comedy films, like short comedy films, putting it together. Kind of stuff you'd find on YouTube, but not really things like cats falling off the back of bins.
Oh, I love that. Sorry, carry on.
But more...
The cat doesn't have a clue. Look on its whiskers.
But more like proper sort of sketches and stuff. And
So
then we
sort
do
of
that with live comedy.
Like a bespoke screening type. Then
Yeah,
Do you have
exactly.
live performances in between as well?
That's it. So we're doing that in Latitude next week.
Oh, so you're at Latitude
Yeah.
as well, or Latitude as I call it.
Very nice.
The festival for the discerning people who want to spread out a rug and have dips while they imbibe thinking.
Oh, that sounds like
Are you
my
doing
kind
it?
of... I like
Yeah.
the sound of
Are
that.
you-
I'm doing a stand-up. So I'm
doing stand-up as well.
Are you?
Yeah, but we're doing
What day?
popcorn after Sunday.
Ah, no.
What day are you on?
I'm there on the Friday.
Oh, you
I
two
just
just
didn't
compare
say
your
jokes.
diaries.
Can I borrow your
You
GHD? I'll
guys
see
are
that.
going. Are you guys
I
going?
won't be at Latitude now.
No, because I'm having a party at a private members club. But anyway...
Gareth, it's only you invited. Don't turn up. Welcome, Gareth. Lock the door, Quentin. That's so exciting. I think people from my family will love this. So you can go to the theatre, but you get to watch telly as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. But we're doing it in Latitude, we're doing it in Edinburgh, and we've got nights all over the country, so we're trying to make it as big as possible.
Latitude's really exciting because you have lots of different spaces. You have the stand-up tent, but you also have a theatre tent, and which tent will Popcorn be taking?
I can't remember which tent it's in. It's not in the stand-up tent, but I love Latitude. It's
Great festival, sold out completely. And Plopcorn, when it goes, oh, plop, plop, mummy. When Popcorn goes up to Edinburgh, it'll be in the Pleasantstone at 11 p.m.
Yep.
I'm told. Good.
Russell Kane on Absolute Radio.
But I'm joined in the studio by Holly Walsh, fantastic comedian, talking about all her exciting projects, and of course, flanking,
The old regulars.
giving Russell Kane a thorough flanking, is Emily and Gareth.
Yes.
Now, we've had a few texts come in. People are still texting 8, 12, 15. A lot of provocative topics we've been throwing into the mix this morning. Holly, feel free to pitch in.
Yeah.
Well, we had a really sweet text in from someone called Julie, who says, I'm 54 today, my son is 15, and we're going to Latitude next week together in our classic Bedford camper van, and we're going to Sonosphere and V this year. I'm his mum, but we share a love of live music, and I love it. Oh, how nice is that?
So that's cool. So she was 39 when he was born.
Oh, well worked out.
Yeah, thank you. I got a maths, mummy.
Did you go to Christ Hospital?
You probably calculated that algebraically. Yeah, Christ Hospital, maths. So that's quite hopeful, isn't it?
I wouldn't go to a festival with my parents, personally.
Wouldn't you?
No.
But I do actually, it's a good point, Holly. I get slightly sometimes irritated by those. Well, Sadie, for example, will go, hey, when I was 16, 17, my mum and I were just best friends. I never went through a phase where I wanted to rip her face off and shut her in the... But most of us go through that phase where you're supposed to loathe your parents between approximately 14 and 21. But some people have these really cool relationships, and I think it's envy on my part when I see them sat on a rug together. Hey, daughter and mother, what's the difference, man? We're just cells on a planet.
I'm one of those.
If I was 15 and I went to a festival with my parents, I guarantee I would have thrown some sort of wobbly and locked myself in the car and not got out.
Yeah.
So it would have ruined it for everyone.
My mum so much as looked at me when I was 15. You're so uncool. The direction of your gaze sucks. She just could not get anything right. Were you a best buddy with your mum?
I was the best buddy. But then
Really?
that's the sort of, my mum's an actress, so it's all kind of, arty-farty, that's how we do things. Oh, darling, you look wonderful.
Well, maybe that's the thing. I mean, if they're going to a music festival together, they're people from our text message. What are their names again? Forgotten. How rude.
Oh, that was Julie.
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 Maybe Julie does something cool. Text us, let us know what you do. Maybe that's it. Because, I'm not suggesting my mum wasn't cool, but she is a cleaner. You're brilliant at it, mum. And but it's just dropped off at the cinema at 15. I'd rather have bust it. What about you?
Didn't you hate it?
Well, she's going with her 15-year-old son, and she thinks it's really cool. But we haven't had his side of the story.
Hey, your flares look great. I'm glad I put a crease in the front of them. This techno's great. Is anyone else here taking Zambuca? Mum, sit down. Now. What were you like, Gareth? Did you have years of shame?
I used to hang out with my parents. We were all Christians, so we used to go to Christian festivals.
That sounds cool.
My dad was in charge.
We can't say a thing. You cheat.
I did that. My mum's a vicar, so I went to...
Is your mum a vicar?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Holly is one of those guests that as the interview goes on, the bigger stuff comes out. In a minute, she's going to reveal she was obsessed with badgers and went on the really wild show. I can feel it coming.
That actually happened. Nearly.
What?
Nearly happened.
So your mum's a vicar?
Yes, she got ordained a few years ago, but I went to a lot of Christian festivals when I was I never went to like proper festivals. I only went to Christian festivals, so I was quite shocked when I saw what happened at real festivals.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, why isn't everyone singing?
I'm not saying anything against a vicar. I'd love it if my mum was a vicar, but I can't think of anything worse than being dropped off at an illegal warehouse rave that I attended, and my mum opening the door with a dog collar on. And remember, it's Jesus who rocks. See you later.
This is Absolute Radio. That's right, just put it up there.
Absolute Radio.
Actually, Russell, Holly was saying she's from Godalming.
Yeah.
There's a text in saying, Emily just said that Godalming was pronounced Godalming. Well, she's wrong. It's actually Godalming. Check your facts. Gordon of Godalming.
That sounded the
Is
same
it
every time you
What's
said
the
it.
difference in any of the Godalmings?
I don't know. How do you say it?
Let's clear this up. I didn't live there. I went to school there. But
How do you say it?
You were transported in a plastic sheet so you couldn't gaze at the look.
I'm from Guildford originally, so that's
Guildford.
Guildford. It's well, I always say Godalming, but I mean, things might have changed since I was there. It's a long time ago.
Hey, the Godalming pronunciation movement's always evolving. So we'll just clear this one up quickly because Gareth has a brilliant pitch to put to all of us. But is it true you were once fixated on badgers?
Well, I was obsessed with them as a child, absolutely obsessed, and then I think ITV or someone called me up and said, "We've heard that you're 6 and you're obsessed with badgers. Would you like to be on a documentary about like children that are obsessed with badgers?" And I was like, "Bring it on."
Did you say? I think you should probably talk to my parents. I don't know why I'm taking
I was
calls.
like, I don't even have I had a mobile at that age. I had those 80s and mobiles. So that happened, and then I did a documentary about. I was like part of a documentary about children that are obsessed with animals, and
Well, that's amazing they rung you. I was obsessed by the Fonz, but no one rung me up and said, would you like to do a documentary about the Fonz?
Henry Winkler's waiting for me. You have to pronounce it Winkler. So, during M79, Gareth revealed something rather interesting.
This is very exciting for me, being together with Holly and Russell on the radio, because...
Oh, thanks.
Holly was one of... Yeah, sorry, I'm with you all the time.
Quentin to elope with.
I'm with you all the time, It's just got... But Holly was one of my first gigs I did with Holly, so she was one of the first people I knew when I started doing stand-up. And Russell was one of the first people to say, "Oh, I think you're really good."
Was I? That's nice to know. Oh, no,
so
I
this
did.
is,
In fact, the only person.
No, but I
Yeah.
ran back to the people that managed me and went, "You've got to see this guy, he's absolutely brilliant."
Oh.
I did.
That's lovely.
It's
And
nice.
And that's the way the anecdote ends.
No, it doesn't. Something-
No, and
Come on,
I
don't
had
be
this
shy.
idea, right, of a radio sitcom. I don't know why it was radio. Maybe I should have aimed higher. But and it was us.
Don't diss the
No, radio's
medium you're
good.
working
No,
with.
it's good. I love it here. Please let me stay. And what it was, so right, it's called Shallow Friends.
Yep.
It was Shallow Grave meets Friends,
Yeah.
and a little bit Weekend at Bernie's. Me and Russell lived in a house with the landlord. The landlord died.
Yeah.
Was a slightly older
Who
man.
played that part?
And because
That's not Frank, is it?
I don't. Well, I
Oh my
don't know.
God,
We're
it
still
is.
casting issues, and we to live in the house rent free. We pretended he hadn't died. We put him in the freezer in the basement.
Good idea.
So Holly was looking for somewhere near her work where she could, because we were on her bus route, and so she was spying on us. She realised what we'd done and had the landlord's room. So we were stuck in this kind of house where we were all lying to live there. What do you think? Is anyone
Guys,
listening?
I know this sounds like rad. Why don't we brainstorm this and write it up after the show?
Definitely, we should definitely
I'm
do
just
that.
amazed, just because I was on your bus route, how much did you talk about murdering your boss on the bus? I mean, that just seems... I mean, not your boss, your landlord. That seems...
Yeah.
The exciting
We
thing
didn't
is
murder him. We didn't murder him. He died of natural causes.
it could almost fit under the title "My So-Called Life Sentence" if we could just piggyback your whole pilot.
I
It's
could
Sharon
do a
Robin,
woman prisoner, Holly.
You could do.
I could. Oh, no,
Be very careful
I'll
of your
rephrase
emphasis. There'd be short work of you. Why can't I put batteries in the back of Gareth? Holly, so one last time, don't forget you can catch you doing popcorn comedy. That's up in Edinburgh, the Pleasance Dome, 11 p.m, but also at Latitude next weekend. You're there all weekend doing popcorn?
Yes, we're doing popcorn, and then I'm doing the stand-up show on Sunday.
Fantastic. And do we have a website if people want to find out where they can see you live?
Or go to popcorncomedy.com for all the details. And we've got a app and a Twitter thing, so go on that.
Do you notice, though, Russell, the way that you and Holly have definitely changed the subject from the sitcom radio pilot because you don't want to do it?
It was the bit where
What are you saying? I'm just making some notes.
Gareth threw himself into a cell with some rabid female prisoners. I thought it was time to say thank you very much, Holly Walsh. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Russell Kane on Absolute Radio.
Russell Kane standing in for Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. It is a wonderful, summery Saturday morning. We're loving the music on email and text. People are loving the music. That was Martha and the Muffins on Echo Beach. I love people with food in their names. And
Annika Rice,
Annika Rice, brilliant. Very versatile, savoury or sweet.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
They should get together.
Now we have just a
It's
talking
an
point.
80s joke.
A talking point has just arisen. Text in your favourite foodie celebrities on 8, 12, 15. Why not? Martha and the Muffins, well done. Let us just gently butter the moist loaf of that talking point and leave it sitting there. Any other messages coming in via the email or text, Gareth?
Well, Russell, I'm 49 next week. That's how it starts.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were speaking to me. Well, Russell, I will carry on with my...
Very good, didn't it? But
Oh,
no.
Ben Jones has arrived. I get excited when he arrives.
Oh, Ben's pressing
What's he got? I
his
think he's
naked
got an 8-track.
pectoral.
What
out
has
the
he
window.
got? He's got a, like
Oh, he
an
looks
old
good
paper-
today.
Oh, Ben's wearing a hat.
I
That's
fancy
unusual.
Ben Jones today. For one day only, but I do fancy him.
Do you know what Ben's middle name is?
Now's your
Quentin?
chance, Ben. Get it while it's hot.
Oh, he's doing,
Oh, dear.
he's
Ben,
doing something
Right,
unspeakable.
I'm now going to dare Ben to do a Midnight Express against the glass.
Well,
Right,
Russell,
yeah.
I'm 49 next week and bringing my 15-year-old and her mate to see you in Derby in October. Is that
nice.
sad or okay?
Well, that's okay, isn't it? Didn't we decide 34, 35, ideal breeding
Yeah.
age?
That's from Maisie's mummy. Yeah, probably referring to
Yeah.
yourself as Maisie's mummy.
Mummy has
is
just
not the
totally
coolest.
ruined it.
Yeah.
At the end there. I'm Hall, we hang out together, don't we? Doesn't Mummy hang out with Maisie? Doesn't Mummy? Come here, you're not too young to suckle. Come. Mummy, don't touch me!
I also have an 8-year-old. How's your maths to work that out? So, right, she's 49.
There's lots of hopeful messages for
Gareth's
us.
still
breeders.
mumbling, muttering, doing the calculation.
Look at that. This is what happens when the Orangina comes down.
He
You've
goes
got to come
Rain
down the
Man.
other side.
It goes a bit Rain Man.
Goes dark.
Okay, so we've been talking about technology. According to Prince, the web is dead. But
Yeah.
what about Twitter? Twitter is thriving.
Oh, yeah.
Gareth, your missus not too keen on you overusing the Twitter.
Well, this week, what she doesn't like is when I'm in the house and she sees...
Just end a sentence there.
Yeah, that's it. When I'm around.
Back in the garden, Gareth, and clean up your poo-poo this time, please. Sorry, wife.
She doesn't like it when I tweet something when I'm there and I haven't said it to her. She's like, "What's this on Twitter? Why didn't you? I was in the house. Why didn't you tell it to me?" And I'm like,
That's
well,
kind of reasonable,
supposed to
though.
do it, yeah.
If you're living together and you thought of something witty or nice or warm and you do it first digitally to strangers, there's
Also,
something
it
a little bit
depends who
hurtful.
you're communicating with. If it is some lap dancer woman, which I'll be bound it was.
No, it was not.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll be bound. I haven't heard that phrase for about 20 years. I'll warrant and be willing to wager threepence on the fact.
I
I'll be
was
bound.
privately educated. It's what happens. You learn things like that.
Yes. Well,
but she was cross with me already, and then she walked in on me in the toilet.
what?
And I was just checking while I was on the toilet.
Furiously
That's okay.
knocking a tweet out in the toilet.
Oh my
Send!
God.
Send!
Sounds the best. This is
Absolute Radio.
This next song is dedicated to all of you men called Ken.
This is Russell Kane on Absolute Radio for the first ever time sitting in Frank's chair, and I've absolutely loved it. Emily and Gareth have made me feel very much at home. And Emily is glowing even more than usual because during REM...
I had a Saint-Tropez tan.
Yeah, we sprayed her with some orange spray gun. No, a cake arrived because it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And I got some cards, and and the card is signed by Clive, who's the big boss here. Oh, I love it.
Lovely. I've spent the last 20 minutes counting the candles. Sorry, I'm
How
sorry.
dare
It made
you.
me lose count.
Don't.
Oh, I'm going to
don't
start
begin.
again now.
No. This is a banned subject. You know it is.
And any plans? Share your plans, Em.
Well, I'll be...
Emily. Just abbreviated to M.
Oh, I like
I've got to
being
get to my
Em.
own text.
Well, I'm having a party, aren't I, Gareth,
Yes.
next week? But everyone's going to be...
Exclusive party.
Yeah. So anyone who was hoping to network at
Yeah.
Latitude, forget it. They'll all be at my party.
Anyone's hoping to get discovered
I think
at
you're,
Latitude.
I think you're
No
going to be
one's-
lowered on a smoky platform at the main stage at Latitude. It is me. I am Emily. And it is my birthday.
M.
That would be awesome. That would be brilliant.
All hail. Well, it's a good weekend for it, lovely and summery. But is it? We've just got 2 minutes to quickly have this out before I leap out of the window into the sunshine. Summer or winter? We have all these platitudes, all these annoying truisms. I love the sun. Summer makes me happy. I love being in
Platitude, is that a
sunshine.
new festival?
Yeah, platitude. That's where you can hear the side of the stand-up you'll be hearing from me. Platitude. Men and women, aren't they different? EasyJet, what's that all about? That's the Platitude Festival. But, Gareth, you're like me. Come on, let's
I
link
like
on
the
this.
autumn.
The autumn. I'm a bit of a winter guy.
I like
No,
wearing a
Russell,
coat.
you're
Don't-
winter, aren't you?
I like a
Definitely.
woolly jumper.
Don't you love wearing a coat?
Oh,
when
man.
you have to wear
No,
a
I
coat.
don't like it at
Brilliant.
all. It's
More
revolting.
accessories, Emily. More accessories. Think of it.
No, I like summer. I'm a summer girl. It's my season.
Yeah, but as soon as you walk anywhere, you're sweating. It's fine if you're by a pool with a cocktail, chilling out.
Yeah, that's
But
where I normally am. Why aren't you?
Most of us have to work for a living. And comedy clubs are
Not
hot,
us,
and
though.
the audiences go down. Yeah, but even for comedy, it's not pleasant when the
No,
numbers dip in the comedy clubs.
People
and-
don't come when it's sunny outside. They're all at barbecues.
I love that, and the
They're all
excuse
at my
to
barbecue.
Yeah, they're all there.
the excuse to stay in and watch movies, and you can actually have fully darkened cinema setting in the movie room instead of having light coming in. You can see the reflection of yourself in the TV. I hate that when you're trying to watch a movie in the summer like Terminator, and you can see your face next to it and reflected from
You
the
know, there's
sunlight.
something. You see, there is something goth-like about you in a good,
That's lovely.
trendy
What a
way.
lovely way to finish this.
it
Stranger
is.
and orgy,
some-
stroke goth.
There's something of-
I'm a depressive sexual predator.
Something of the night
I like
about
a
you,
goth.
Russell.
I like a goth, but I always find in Camden Town in the sun it doesn't work when you're in London's Camden Town because that's where the goths all hang out, and they all look a bit bemused when the sun comes out, or baffled in their black and their.
Just something else to be miserable about for them. Oh, it's so hot. My white face makeup's running.
We'll have to leave for summer versus winter break.
Oh.
Hanging in a kind of autumnal glaze. As we come to the end of my temporary tenure, thanks very much for letting me speak in your ear holes. Thanks very much for Emily and Gareth for supporting
you,
me. Happy birthday
Russell.
again, Emily. Thanks very much to my guest, Holly Walsh. You've got Ben Jones coming up straight after the ad break. Next week, Frank Skinner's back. I've been Russell Kane. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Russell Kane on Absolute Radio.